Every season that he's been in the NBA, Donovan Mitchell has helped lead the Utah Jazz to the playoffs. And in the playoffs, he's an even better player. Elite, averaging around 28 points per game. You know what's also elite? Mint Mobile and their cell phone plan starting as low as $15 per month on America's largest 5G network. Start saving money today by heading to mintmobile.com/chatsports. That link available for you right at the bottom of your screen in the comment section and the description of this video. So right off the top, we're talking about Donovan Mitchell. A trade update. According to Shams Charania, the Knicks and Jazz recently re-engaged in trade talks centered on one of the best young scorers in the NBA. As for that report on the Athletic, here it is from Shams. We'll break it down, go through it. I'll explain what it means and what I think of it. After several weeks of no conversations, the New York Knicks and Utah Jazz recently re-engaged in trade talks centered on D-Mitch. Knicks and Jazz had a fresh trade conversation within the past week about potential packages for Mitchell, according to sources. No traction between the two teams on a deal, and no Mitchell trade is imminent for the Jazz, sources said. How about this, though? Hornets, Wizards also among the teams pursuing him. Throughout trade talks, the Knicks have made their interest in Mitchell abundantly clear, one source with knowledge of the situation said. Knicks and Jazz seriously discussed a Mitchell trade during the NBA's Las Vegas Summer League back in mid-July. Talks stalled out, led to nearly a month of inactivity between the sides. Now, with training camp just over 1 month away, the sides have reignited talks. Hurdles toward a deal do remain because the trade package is going to be big for Donovan Mitchell. Speaking of that, in these trade discussions, who do you think has the leverage between the most rumored team and the team that wants the Spider the most in the New York Knicks? Type NYK. Or if you think it's the Jazz who have the most leverage, I want you to type Utah in the comment section right now. Now, this is where I kind of stand on both perspectives of these trade conversations. The Jazz's moves up to this point to a rebuild, and you only want to talk about the Rudy Gobert trade, but they traded away Royce O'Neal, a really good player who was an impactful 3-and-D wing for them. Joe Ingles went to the Milwaukee Bucks. So it's not like they just traded away Rudy Gobert, and back for Gobert, they got a bevy of draft selections, not players. So right now, I don't think they're ready to compete in a loaded Western Conference. In fact, I think they're going to be one of the lower teams in the Western Conference standings. So all of their moves have pointed to a rebuild, and if they keep Mitchell now, this guy wants to win. This guy wants to play in an atmosphere like the Mecca. 28 points per game in the playoffs. This guy has been to the big dance every year that he's been in the league since slipping in the draft coming out of Louisville and ended up being an NBA All-Star. So he's going to get frustrated with the losing in Utah, and he wants to go to a big market. That's why these Knicks trade talks, in my opinion, are real. So if he doesn't get traded now, I see him leaving in 2025, so why not just continue the rebuild and get a nice sizable package back for D-Mitch, which I think will be more advantageous for the Utah Jazz and a better package than what you got back for Rudy Gobert. You get players here and the draft picks from the Rudy Gobert deal. That's a pretty good haul for Utah, led by Danny Ainge. I told you off the top, today's show is sponsored by Mint Mobile. On America's largest 5G network, you get plans starting as low as $15 per month, unlimited talk and text, high-speed data, a mobile hotspot, and you get to start saving money immediately. Some of the other benefits with Mint Mobile: they'll send you a digital eSIM card, so you don't have to waste your time to go to a store. You can get set up all from the comfort of your own home. And I know a lot of you are asking me this inside your heads right now. Wait, do I have to change my physical cell phone and get a new one? Do I have to get a new cell phone number? No, you don't. That is the benefit and all of the benefits of Mint Mobile. MintMobile.com/chatsports. Unlimited premium wireless plan starting as low as $15 per month. It's a cell phone company owned by the famous actor Ryan Reynolds. Your boy Chase Sr. is also on it, as well as many people here at Chat Sports. Join the movement today. More from Shams. Is there a possibility that if these trade talks stall out like they did, that maybe D-Mitch could go back to Utah? I don't think that it's worth it for Utah, nor do I think that's really what D-Mitch wants deep down, but there's that possibility, so let's explore that avenue as well. Shams, the Jazz have maintained they're comfortable keeping Mitchell into the season and potentially beyond due to him having 3 years remaining on his contract. They think they have multiple roads back to being the team. This is from Tony Jones on top of what Sham said about Mitchell coming back. They think they have multiple roads back to being the team they were a couple of years ago. They already have 3 first-round picks by the end of next season. If they hold on to all their veterans, they'll have $36 to $40 million in cap room. But we know that Danny Ainge has a history. And we know that when Danny Ainge sees the writing on the wall and a good opportunity to rebuild, like he did with the Boston Celtics many years ago, and pull off some of these championship maneuvers like he did in trading for Kevin Garnett, as well as Ray Allen, and teaming those two up with Paul Pierce, having a nice veteran in Kendrick Perkins, and a very good point guard in Rajon Rondo, getting the coach right in Doc Rivers back in the day. He's already gotten the new coach. Quinn Snyder left. He traded Gobert. Is the trade of Donovan Mitchell next? And I also have some questions about free agents actually wanting to go to Utah with that aforementioned cap space of potentially between $36 and $40 million. Let's look at Utah's perspective once again. Like, who is signing with the Utah Jazz? I'm not sure that they, as a franchise, are a destination. That's why so often they've been one of the most well-run organizations in terms of drafting and developing, because they realize that the reality of it is that a lot of free agents won't come there. And I'm not sure Donovan Mitchell is the player that other players want to team up with. Really, really good in a championship piece, but you can get back a lot for him in a trade, which I think is actually even better for Utah to kickstart that rebuild. There's also this. There's a report out there, and I think that this could easily happen, that Donovan Mitchell isn't either happy with the situation or he just wants a change in professional environment like a lot of us do with our jobs. When we decide to go from one job to the other, a change of scenery sometimes benefits you as a person and the employee. He could leave in 2025. The trade package for Gobert is also something that we have to talk about because of what the Jazz got back. Not immediate pieces to help out Donovan Mitchell. And the Knicks have been trying to land a superstar for an eternity. Ever since Carmelo Anthony left, they haven't had that franchise face since Melo. They've swung. They've missed in free agency. They haven't landed some of these guys in free agency as well as the trade market. D-Mitch could be their guy, and they have the pieces as well as the draft assets to get him right now, and that could appease Utah. And then for Utah, you're thinking about it like this, right? If we keep him, we want to win, but we don't have a roster that can help Donovan Mitchell win right now. Versus the trade, we've already kind of put one foot in the bucket with this rebuild. Why not just go all in with the rebuild? And at the end of the day, I think the New York Knicks make a lot of sense, and they make the most sense. Among all teams in the NBA, they have what could help Utah rebuild. The draft picks, as I talked about, but a semblance of players in that trade package that includes some really, really quality players. Emmanuel Quickley, R.J. Barrett, Obi Toppin, Quentin Grimes, just to name a few. And for spite of the last 4 years, if you give up one of those really good players for the Knicks, ideally I hold on to R.J. Barrett. Everybody else is on the table for me. R.J. Barrett, Donovan Mitchell, and Jalen Brunson give you a really good team that could probably win you between 45 and 55 games this upcoming season and into the future. This guy's a really good scorer. Last 4 years, 25 points, 26 points, 24, and a little less than 24 points per game. The shooting number's pretty solid for a guy with so much volume, but this guy's even better in the playoffs. Check out what he does when the lights are the brightest. On the big stage, he's phenomenal. 28 points per game, 43% from the field, nearly 37% from three. A lot of those coming down the stretch in big moments when the team really needs a bucket from great distances from the outside, pulling up just past the logo. The Spider, he ain't scared. And to play in New York, you can't be scared. And get out of here that the Hornets and the Wizards can also join these trade conversations and maybe pull off a maneuver for Donovan Mitchell. It's not going to happen because for Utah, you want the best package back of players and draft picks. Hornets, who are the players that they're including in that deal outside of LaMelo Ball, who they're not going to trade? You trade for D-Mitch because you want to team him up with LaMelo Ball. They don't have the assets, and for the Wizards, Kristaps Porzingis, Rui Hachimura, Corey Kispert, those are the young pieces that you're giving up for D-Mitch. If I'm Utah, I'm hitting up New York. That's the best trade package out there. Will Mitchell get traded at all? Or will he go back to the Utah Jazz? Let us know once more before we hop on out of here. Give me a Y for yes. Give me an N for no. Bring some energy into the comment section. And as always, we appreciate you for watching today's show.